Okay, good morning, everyone, and happy new year. Welcome to 2024 and our first coalition meeting of the year. So I don't think we're going to hold you here long. We'll give you some time back, hopefully by the end of this. But we do have some important items to discuss, especially as a follow-up to last month's meeting, our final meeting of 2023. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. This is our agenda for today, and again, the big topic is primarily right there, the follow-up to our integrated preparedness planning that we discussed last month. To get us started, we'll go ahead and conduct our roll call, starting with our hospitals, starting with Anderson Hospital.
Eric Brandmeier is here representing Anderson and Community Hospital Staunton.
Good morning, Eric. Thank you. Alton Memorial.
Good morning, this is Aaron at Alton Memorial.
Awesome, awesome. Good morning, Aaron. Boyd.
I will be right back.
Okay, not hearing anyone. Nancy, you're not on. Carlinville Area Hospital.
Tyler's here for Carlinville.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it. Community Memorial Staunton. Thank you, Eric. You've already announced. Fayette County Hospital.
Hi, this is Tina.
Good morning, Tina. Gateway. Anyone from Gateway? Hearing none, we'll move on to our HSHS partners, starting with Holy Family.
Cindy's here for Holy Family.
Thank you, Cindy. St. Joseph's Breeze.
Stacy's here from Breeze.
Thanks, Stacy. And Highland. No one from Highland and St. East. Thought I heard somebody's audio check there. Again, anyone from St. East? Okay, hearing none, we'll go over to Jersey.
We're here.
Who was that said we're here? Let's see. Last caller, who was that said we're here? Is that Julie?
It is. Thank you, Philip.
No problem. Gotcha. Thank you. From Memorial Hospital Belleville, you got myself, Lee. Mike is off on PTO, won't be back till tomorrow. I'm not sure if Scott's joining us this morning. Scott, are you on? Okay, not hearing Scott. Memorial Chester.
This is Georgia. I'm here.
Morning, Georgia. OSF St. Anthony's.
Good morning, Phil. Denny Stanford here.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. And over to Redbud Regional. Harris got the month off, let's say. Sparta.
Dan's here, Phil.
Thank you, Dan. And Touche. Anyone from Touche? Okay, hearing none, over to our health departments. Bond County.
Wendy's here.
Thank you, Wendy. Calhoun County. Clinton County.
Yeah, this is Brett. Good morning.
Hey, morning, Brett. Who else we got? Okay, Eastside Health District. Fayette. Greene County. Jersey County.
Heidi's here.
Thank you, Heidi. Macoupin County.
Derek here, Phil.
Got you, Derek. Thank you. Madison County.
Jacob's here.
Thank you, Jacob. Over to Monroe County.
Vicky here.
Thank you, Vicky. Randolph.
Deborah's here.
Thank you, Deborah. And St. Clair County.
Good morning, Kara's here.
Thank you, Kara. Our community partners will start with IDPH and our RMSC. Greg, are you on? Greg's got the week off, must be okay. Emergency Response Coordinator, Beth, are you on?
Hey, Phil. Beth is on the phone. Greg is trying to get on through the computer and he's having trouble. I also could not get on through the computer this morning, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm here.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you. Any of our BJC partners on this morning? How about our EMA partners? I think I saw.
Morning, Phil. This is Sam.
I saw Sam. Thank you, Sam. MedStar Ambulance. I know I saw John's pretty mug jump on the screen.
Yeah, good morning, Phil and everyone. I'm here.
All right, there we go, John. Nice. Anyone from Abbott on today? How about SLU?
Good morning, Phil, Helen Sanko representing SLU.
Thank you, Helen. Scott Air Force Base. Anyone from Scott, Tim, or any folks from 375th Med Group? And the St. Louis Regional Healthcare Coalition, or STARS. Okay, hearing none. Gotcha, Brad. I see you in there. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Just as a quick run back on last month's meeting, just some due outs that we had, some tasks. I did forward that stuff over to Tara that day. A few other things, the HVA. We called for everyone to submit their HVAs to the info@SWILHOPE email. We did receive a good amount. However, I don't think we got 100%. I do know we're going to have to work with Touche because, again, I don't believe they have somebody appointed right now. But we'll run that list down again today. I'd say we got maybe 60% overall. But if you have not submitted your Kaiser Permanente HVA to info@SWILHOPE, please do that so we can get that information consolidated, or we'll just have to go without your input this year. And as far as the Decon Core survey that went out, I think we did get, Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, you said 5 or so responses. But if we're setting the Decon schedule, the training for our on the road classes and the ones that we're going to host here at Memorial, we're going to do at least 4 here, maybe more, but we want to make sure that we're getting out and about in the community and providing that training. So please, if you have not had an opportunity, make sure you attack that survey and member plan it, get it knocked out. Any other things about that, Lee, I need to relay?
No, there's total, I think 5 responses is where we were at. And I did just extend out that survey again through middle of next month, but I'm hoping to have a schedule finalized by the end of this month. So please, if you haven't, please go ahead and respond back on that.
Perfect. And if you could just throw it in the chat, and then folks that, so some folks may, if they want to, they can reach here if they can't find it. Okay, we will move on to our traditional agenda. We'll kind of move through this kind of quickly as to make room for what we got planned later, because we only got you for an hour today. So we'll start with Greg, if you were able to make it on. Greg.
Hey, Phil, this is Beth. He told me he really did not have anything to report, but he's still trying to log in.
Okay, so nothing significant to report from Greg, but Beth, what do you got today?
So we're all watching the COVID numbers, the respiratory illness numbers rise. In Missouri, overall, CDC is reporting moderate level for respiratory illness activity. For some reason, Missouri is not reporting, or at least I'm not seeing it on the CDC site as far as individual counties. The entire state is like that. I don't know if that's an issue with the computer collision or if it's Missouri's not reporting. For Illinois, the activity level is high for respiratory illness, and it varies from county to county. I didn't pull all of them, but for the most part, see if I can find it again. For the most part, flu is increasing. RSV is no change, and COVID-19 is no change. On a call earlier this morning with Missouri, they are seeing just in the last week, the COVID numbers are increasing quite rapidly, which is not unexpected. We will probably, as you all know, see the numbers jump in the next week or two after everyone got together for the holidays. And a question, I'm not sure how to ask this, Phil, but I was asked to do just a quick survey of what systems are requiring masking. I know that BJC is in patient care areas, I believe, but if the other big systems could report back or put it in the chat or something, I would appreciate it. And the only other thing is we're starting to, again, do more planning for the eclipse. And that's all I really have, unless someone has some questions.
So yes, you are right. We are requiring masking in patient care areas for BJC. I have not taken a poll, but I will give the hospitals an opportunity to respond. And I guess we can kind of just go down the line for the folks that we know are here. I'll start with Anderson.
Sorry, Phil, what were you asking?
The question Beth was just trying to just garner some information regarding which hospitals have re-implemented masking and to what degree, as she kind of pointed out, and I'll just confirm, yes, the BJC hospitals within patient care areas, we are requiring masking there. Has Anderson done anything similar?
No, we have not.
Okay. I'll move down. I'll just use the list here. Alton Memorial. Well, you're part of BJC, so I know what yours is. So there, you guys would be the same. I don't think we had anybody from Boyd jump on.
Hey, Phil, I just dropped a poll in here. It might be a little easier.
Some folks are calling in. That's the some of the part of the
tracking.
issue on this one. So, but also know we got a poll. So I'll go back down. Carlinville Area Hospital. Okay. So I would presume Staunton is not as well. Eric, Gateway's not here. For our HSHS partners, can someone speak on behalf of all of HSHS, or we can go down the line?
No, the HSHS will be system-wide, and at this time, there is no requirements. There's strong encouragement.
Gotcha. Thank you, Brad.
I'm having
Jersey.
some issues over here with my mic.
Okay, I didn't know who was that.
From Carlinville.
Carlinville. Okay. How are you guys? Had you guys implemented fully?
We have not.
Or any portion of okay.
No.
Did we get Jersey community?
Phil, this is Julie. We are not implementing masking at this moment unless you are taking care of a patient who has respiratory illness. And we do ask people to respect the respiratory etiquette when they have a cough or cold.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. We'll go down to Memorial Chester.
Yeah, only with symptoms. We're not requiring.
Okay, thank you. Denny over at St. A's.
We are not implementing the mask mandate right now, Phil, but also if a patient is admitted with a positive condition, then staff is required to enter that room under mask.
Okay. And Redbud?
We're just strongly recommending areas.
Okay, thank you, Tara. Sparta?
In patient care areas.
Okay, so you are inpatient care areas. Okay, thank you very much. I think that's about as many as we got today, Beth. Hopefully that helps.
Yes, it does. They're just asking for a kind of an overall ballpark, and this helps quite a bit. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Phil, this
Yes.
is Helen from SSM. I can tell you, we're using our respiratory etiquette on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, and that and when you say case by case, is I guess how the patient presents is what makes
Yeah,
that
if
determination.
they have, just like you do with flu season, if they have upper respiratory symptoms, then we mask the patient, we mask ourselves. If there, any potential for COVID, anything like RSV, anything like that, community-acquired pneumonia, again, we use respiratory etiquette through the CDC.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Did you have any other announcements or anything, Beth?
No, not right now, Phil. Thank you.
All right. I don't think we had any folks from either STARS or the St. Louis Healthcare Coalition. Did any of those folks join? Have any announcements? Okay, hearing none, we're going to go ahead and move over to Remer. Again, Mike's not here. Lee, did you have anything from Remer's perspective?
So we continue to do the training. We actually have some training that we're doing for the community. We've had a couple of additional requests for some additional community training, things like Stop the Bleed. We're also doing some search and rescue training for an organization the associated with the Boy Scouts and a few other things. But at this time, nothing major. We're just trying to get everybody spun up so that get as much training as possible before the busy season hits.
Training. Awesome. Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll quickly move through. So just as far as upcoming events, what we got coming up, again, next coalition meetings, first Wednesday on the 7th February. Those are those same courses. I think we announced some of these last time, but the Wilderness Search and Rescue, Ground Search, and the Bombing Incidents courses coming up. And then the Search Management course. A lot of these are remote specific. So, and the solar eclipse is still on schedule. I think the universe has continued to move despite the fact that we've changed into another year. Anyone have any upcoming events that they would like to just announce between here and the next month or two? Okay, hearing none, then again, yeah, that will move us along really quickly. And I do see Wendy has a question, Lee. If you didn't see that, who do we contact to schedule community Stop the Bleed training?
Yeah, just forward those requests to me. And Wendy, I thought I'd responded to your email, but if not, I'll check and respond back to that this morning.
Awesome. All right. So as a follow-up to last month's integrated preparedness planning, we'll call it a quasi workshop, where we discussed the goals, strategic goals and plans. Hopefully you guys had an opportunity to review not only the meeting minutes, but the previous slides and these slides. And we want to really get your feedback on where you believe us as a region, checking your pulse as to where we need to kind of lean forward. So we're going to be looking at some of those goals that we outlined previously as kind of the point of embarkation for us as coming forward. Now, I've talked about this several times over the last 3 months that we've been working on from the executive kind of committee level. We've been working on trying to refine how we move forward as a coalition. And again, a lot of that is still tied to what the notice of funding opportunity will detail in the next outgoing budget period, the next 5 years. So while we don't have that information yet, we are still leaning forward with things that we know we need to do as a coalition. While again, that NOFO may kind of change some of those things and we can readjust, but from what you guys know today and how you feel and how we've worked together over the years and years and years here in this region and where we're at today, you should have some form of feeling of what you'd like to see. So these were the preparedness priorities that we discussed last month. And what we'd like to be able to do is gauge which ones you believe are the most important to you and the coalition. So what I'm going to do is for those people who are logged on via computer, you can see those there. I'm going to launch a poll in the chat. So I would like you guys to respond to that poll. That way we can get your feedback. And we're asking you to select 3 of the 9. If at maximum 3. If you feel like there's only one thing that you really want to see, that's fine. But we're asking you to try to pick 3 of these so we can kind of push to the very top of our priority list. So I'm going to launch this poll. And if you have questions, and we'll sit here for a moment, but you should see that pop up. So again, I would ask you to select 3 of those. If you have questions on what each means, you can either double check you can go back and take a look at the previous meeting slides. If you have a question specifically, maybe I can answer it, or Lee could answer that openly. So I'm starting to see some feedback come in, and you guys should be able to hopefully see the results. And I just submitted mine. So we'll give this about another 60 seconds. Got 15 responses. We got about 43 folks online. And again, I do understand the fact that we have some folks that are called in that cannot respond via computer. So if you are, we're going to pause once we're done with all the folks that are going to town on the poll itself. We will have a opportunity for some discussion for those who cannot, and we'll try to capture that as well. So I'll pause it here and we'll just hang out while folks continue to respond. Brett, I see your note in the chat. Did the poll not come up for you, or did you answer the poll and put it in the chat?
Hey, Phil, this is Eric. I never got a poll, so I put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Eric. And you should, if, I don't know, well, I guess it's in 2 spots here. I can see the polls on one, but I can also see it in the chat. If by chance you don't see it, it should be in the chat.
Hey, Phil, this is Brett. Yeah, I did too. I didn't realize there was a spot to do the live survey, so.
Okay. No problem. Perfect. Okay. Looks like we got about 24 responses. We'll give another 30 seconds for those who are still, and then we'll continue on. If you joined late or you didn't get a chance to do it to start, we'll leave it open, and then we'll try to get some feedback from those who are unable to complete the actual survey in the chat. Good. Getting more and more responses. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Eric. I redid mine in your survey. Sorry.
Perfect. No, it's perfect. Great. All right, please continue. If you haven't done so, please continue. It looks like we got 27 responses, which is really good. We will pause here for some of the folks who don't have access to a computer, but see what's on the screen and know what they know of how they feel, and they'd like to voice their concerns or their perspective and opinion on which 3 they would like. So if you didn't get an opportunity to submit the poll, please let us know verbally. What are your thoughts? Where would you like to see the focus as far as the priorities go for at least the next budget period? For us, our next 5 years going from FY 2025 and beyond.
Hey, Phil, this is Brett.
Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to throw out there, just recently as I'm getting more involved, I found out that one of my MRC members is an instructor for Stop the Bleed. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's something I just recently found out. Being that that's on the topic. And I did have another small question. You just showed those classes that were coming up. I put that in the chat from the previous screen. Who again, I'm sorry, are we supposed to contact if we're interested in any of those classes?
You can contact Lee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, again, time's open for those who were unable to digitally respond and, see something, or, maybe you see sustained enhanced patient decon as a low priority and you want to say, oh, I want to do that more. This is your opportunity to get that information captured so we can get you in the minutes and then make sure we're having a appropriate account for those who are in attendance today. Okay, well, we'll stop here. And again, if something just jumps out at you, please just shout it out. But at least looking at what we got here for a response, looks like folks are leaning on evacuation planning, mission-ready packages, and backup power resilience. Okay, all great, doable, and things I'm sure we can achieve. And then what we'll probably do is add at least 2 more. So we'll probably move into the responder safety and health area and see pediatric surge preparedness as another. So we will re-rank these in our priorities to give us a little more insight as to how we want to knock these down as we go forward. So thank you for that. Now what we're going to move over into is kind of multi-year training. Again, this will be very participatory. We will have a few surveys to drop in the chat that we want to get from you. But definitely we'll need some dialogue here outside of certain areas. So what we're going to kind of do is look at what type of training topics, where we want to be focused, but we are aligning that with specifically our, if you kind of remember, our topics by budget period. So FY25, as we discussed before, we're looking at pediatric and earthquake, and then following up with earthquake and TIC-TIM ChemPAC, so toxic industrial chemicals, toxic industrial materials, and ChemPAC, and then evacuation, HCID, yada, yada, yada. So we may change the order of these, but by the topic, what type of training would you like to see the region conduct? So in looking at our pediatric surge area, these are some of the courses that we have out there and available that we know of, that we've either done before or we have a pulse on that we can get in, that we'd like to get in. So we're going to throw up, Lee, if you can, I don't know if you can throw up your poll for this version for our pediatric There we go. So here are your options that we kind of have here. So you go through this poll, it will take you page by page from the first one being pediatric surge. If you click on that little button at the bottom right, it'll take you over to the next one, earthquake preparedness. You'll click the next one, TIC-TIM, the next one, evacuation, the next one. All of that information is there. So there's 6 surveys within this one. So we'll ask you to complete this survey while we're here on the call. And then at the end of that time frame, if there are other things that you have not been able or that are not listed that you would like to see, we'll talk about it and want to get it captured so we can investigate and say, hey, yeah, we can get that course in, we can get this course in, yada, yada. This is not the end all be all list, but there are some of these that I know some of you are very familiar with and you'd like to have come in. So we want to get your feedback on it. Okay, I'll pause here. We'll keep this open for about 5 minutes because it's a few pages. You know, again, there's 6 of these. And try not to pick all, sorry. Pick a maximum of 2 classes per. So if you need to go back and adjust, please do that. I know don't pick every course because we definitely can't do every course.
And for those that are phoning in, if you want to just email us, the quiz, the poll is nothing more than the courses that are depicted in bullet list on the actual PowerPoint. It was just our first attempt at trying polls for this purpose.
And I see your note, Cindy. Yep, that one wasn't a multi-select. We made a mistake there. So on the TIC-TIM and KIMPAC one, please pick your top priority. Our apologies. You'll see the same thing for the evacuation one and the HSID. I think we had just a carryover error there. Pick your number 1s for those. Looks like we got about 19 responses so far. So thank you. Thank you. Please continue. I think we got 27 on the previous? And we'll keep this open for about another, well, it'll remain open, but we'll stay on this topic for another 90 seconds and then we'll move on. All right, that'll maintain open, so if you didn't get a chance, feel free. But now let's just open it up. I mean, there are plenty of things. A lot of these are, some of these are very hospital centric. I know we got our EMS partners on, EMAs, all those type of things, our health departments. What do you see out there as courses that are definitely needed, or you think we need to bring in that support some of these areas that maybe you've attended that we maybe not have visibility on? Anything out there? Classes, workshops, guest speakers, any of those type of things we can garner lessons learned from that may support our outgoing years, kind of topics that we have here. Oh, hi. Let's see. Sam, I see. So would be nice to see the NRP for the pediatric surge. So what is that specifically? When you say the NRP, you might be familiar with that. I can definitely pull up the Google machine.
It's the neonatal resuscitation program.
Okay. Neonatal resuscitation program. Okay. And what is that? How is that normally presented? Is it a definite? Is it face to face? Is it what type of course is that normally?
Very similar to like a PALS class.
Okay.
Now lately, I don't know if they've put some of it online and started making transition, but typically it's always been in an attendance class. It's a lot of hands-on with neonatal mannequins and airways.
Okay, so and I'm seeing what Sam's putting in here. So Brad, correct me. So if you said it's similar to like a PALS class or something like that, so we would have local instructors, and I see she said she's had it through Cardinal Glennon.
Yeah, I would imagine both Cardinal Glennon. I can't speak for Children's. I do know Cardinal Glennon has programs that they go out that are outreach programs. I'm sure Children's does have something similar to that too through their outreach.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you, Sam, and thanks, Brad. Yeah, that's good feedback. What else? Let's see, Marty. Okay. Marty down in Spark says we have scheduled all the classes for infrastructure management certificate program TEACS over the next 18 months. We're also scheduling classes for TEACS community disaster preparedness for a healthcare certificate. Awesome, awesome. We talked about that in the past. I know, Lee, we've done some of those classes, but I don't think we've done the entire
No, we have not. So
yeah.
Marty, when you have those dates, if you would send them to us, we'll happily distribute that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So to our folks to the south of us. Okay. Any other courses or again, workshop styles? What are there things that we could do? Okay, I see one there. Another Cindy. Are there NIMS 300, 400 classes anywhere? So the ICS 300, 400 classes, they're around. We got a couple instructors in here. We haven't had a large, as you guys know, it's not I won't say it's the heaviest undertaking, but it does take several days. So it's been hard to get those off the ground and making sure that they're worthwhile. I have many new crew members that need ICS. Okay, 300, 400. Okay. Maybe maybe we'll have the time where we have the audience to actually put one of those on. So thank you for that feedback. So an ICS 300, 400. Okay, Kara's looking for some too. There we go. Bing, bing, bing. This is type. Last one I saw was, yeah. Yep.
So I will look at getting one scheduled, Phil.
Yeah, we probably could, seeing that it's that big a need. Well, I won't say big a need. I mean, there's just a few agencies, but it does have some good interest in it. Yeah, we probably could look to try to. We probably would have enough to have 2 classes. Maybe a spring and fall this year. That may be something that we can actually delve into. Okay, that's great feedback there. Okay. What other classes or things that we've done in the past that we may still need that
I see
support?
Phil, I
Go
see
ahead.
Stacy had commented about she'd like to see more on workplace violence. If anyone has
Okay.
any suggestions, and this is something we looked at once before. Unfortunately, the what we were looking at were defensive tactics for healthcare and EMS, basically. But I mean, if there's other material out there, we're welcome to entertain that.
Indeed. Let's see, Tyler, a train the trainer for first receivers too. We will do another train the trainer. Not sure if we'll get one in this year, but we're definitely looking to get another train the trainer course because we've got some care and feeding for some of the ones that we've recently done that really have to be monitored, and it just takes a lot. But so anybody have any thoughts on, since we're talking workplace violence, there are several programs. I'll just say that for us, we've gone from, since I've been here, the last 8 years and change, we've gone from, I've seen Moab, the STAR program, and now we're going to, was it CPI? Is that what we're going to next, Lee? Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Correct. Yeah, CPI is what they've gone to.
Is what we've gone to, or what we're going to across BJC. I don't know what the liability is there for us providing, and when I just say us, I'm just saying any hospital providing any of the level of training that they have to other hospitals. I don't know if that's been explored. Okay, yep, and I see over HSH as you guys are doing Moab. A lot of them have a lot of commonalities, especially in the de-escalation side. It's normally where we break from the de-escalation portion into the to the grappling portion. And Lee is normally one of the I don't call them crash test dummies, but one of the ones that's getting tossed around some days. Well, at least we're back in the STAR program, but now I know since we're going to CPI, it's less physical, right? If that makes sense. Okay, I see some more folks have CPI, but what is the thought of, could there be a universal course that we put together or workshop that we host where we kind of discuss those things with the trainers that we have across? Is that something that's worthwhile because I don't know what the smaller hospitals do. I don't know what some of the community access hospitals do. I don't know, Chester, Georgia, what do you guys do? Do you guys have anything that you've done? I know we've done Moab in the past here, but have you guys done anything?
We do
specific?
CPI.
You do CPI, so that is
Yeah.
part. And Eric, what do you guys do? Redbud has CPI, Carlinville has CPI. Okay.
Phil, we do Moab. We kept the training back from when the region trained a lot of us in train the trainer, and we just kept it up and keep doing it. So over the last year and some change, I took it to Community Hospital Staunton, and they've embraced it. So I would assume that there would be a number of rural hospitals that, it's just looking in the mirror and honesty, right? Because I used to hear, well, yeah, absolutely, that Community Hospital Staunton had it, but not too many were actually trained. And now we have the percentage up around 85% of the people who work there have Moab, at least the de-escalation side. The comment I would offer is it would seem like we could come up with a regional class of some sort if it's needed, I've always offered it to EMS. The problem is, and those who teach MOAB can back me up on this, is that when we become MOAB instructors, we basically sign an agreement that we won't go outside of our healthcare agency. That being said, doesn't mean you can't collectively use their ideas. So those of you who are MOAB instructors, don't turn me into MOAB for saying this, but I mean, ultimately, I think the de-escalation point, to your point, is very similar. You know, it's where the variance comes is the physical, what we call day 2 here. And the other thing is, a lot of that is guided by the comfort of your leadership at your particular hospital or healthcare agency. Because, yeah, I can tell you over here, my admin has backed us up. We teach everything, stuff that a lot of places don't teach when it comes to the physical agility. And not everybody's going to be comfortable with that. But I think that we could collect our thoughts, those who are CPI trained, those who are MOAB trained, and whatever brand is out there, and come up with a program if indeed it's needed for the region, for the remainder of the region. It looks like most of the people have something, though.
Yeah, I was actually shocked to see so much. So I think that's really good. Because, seeing, responder safety and health on just this minor, survey here today as being still one of the top things. I know last year we had lots of conversations around responder safety and health and mental health. So, I kind of lump all that in, I won't say together, but we tried to get the D4 EMS course off the ground. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I do know, seeing that we do have this much support in various programs at the hospital level, I guess the target audience, like who we really, if we have this many programs that are working internally for hospitals, where's the real need then? Is it EMS? Is it some local providers' offices or other, or otherwise? Where, since folks are saying, yes, responder safety and health, and this is an area where we think the focus is it inside the hospital or outside the hospital where we need that focus at? And please feel free, anyone, shout out where you think we need that at. Where should that be targeted?
I think it's scaled, targeted. I think we've seen a massive increase in our violence against staff members here. It was actually the topic of conversation at a meeting today. And I think we need to really grab our team members, whether that's security or you do have a rapid response team, and they have to have a scaled, very, I would say hands-on training and so forth, because you can easily say that we really don't want to put our hands on anybody, but we have to, and it's occurring a lot. And but then some kind of program also for what you should do when you just first encounter, maybe for nursing and the clinical people that's up on the floor. We don't want them. We want them to respond appropriately and get help, and that's it. So I think that's scaled from my point of view, looking at it a couple different ways.
No, I appreciate that, Brad. And Kim, I see you said we have our full timers attend the PD, is that CIT 40-hour course? So is that taken as police department? I don't know what CIT is. Anybody? Can you?
Crisis intervention.
Oh, okay, the crisis intervention.
Did they say
Okay.
anything about their posted job?
Okay. And I see Sam's point. I think both need to be targeted in their own ways. Okay. It's something to chew on here because I agree. I mean, just generally from my point of view, I agree. But I do think we need to really target it here in Eric's point as far as the agreement that you have with those vendors that provide the training. Yep, we all sign those, as I don't know if they're non-disclosure agreements or, refusal competition agreements, whatever you want to call it, that they want to keep their information, but the universal information that they all have and collective efforts, to your point, I do think that there may be some room to create our own, that we can, whether we do it via the web in a workshop that way, where folks come and discuss their programs, et cetera, or, I think there's a lot to it, but I do see the advantages of it. So, okay. Any other trainings folks believe that we need to focus on? Maybe something we've done in the past, a long time ago, that you like to see resurge? Anything that we want to make a little more consistent? The one thing that we've been able to make as a consistent piece over the last 5 years has been the decon training, which continues to grow, that will flourish, that will continue. But are there any other courses like that we want to make a staple, that we say, twice a year we're hosting this, once a quarter where somebody is hosting this type of training or workshop?
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the pediatric involved activities, simply for the fact is that, we've got accreditation agencies and so forth with our hospitals, and we try our best, if we're going to have one training, to make sure it meets Joint Commission, EDAP, SDAP, all of that, so we can kind of take advantage of the training, and that actually really helps the attendance also. So I would think, if we're going to think about anything that's on a routine basis, since we're all EDAP or SDAP facilities, that we have a pediatric component, and then maybe once every couple years where we have reunification involved with that pediatric component, because every single hospital has to have that as part of their regulatory compliance.
It makes sense, especially knowing the gaps that we have on this side of the river, or I won't say gaps, just the limiting factors that we have here, whether it's just providers in a hospital setting, or we just don't have the beds, we don't have the expertise just on this side of the river. And that day when all the bridges don't work, we don't have enough helicopters to go back and forth. So I hear you, Brad, and I agree. Any other items that fit that bill? Okay. Well, if you do have any additional ones, since we're coming up on the hour, I would ask that you send those to us via email. And again, you can send them directly to us, but if you send things to info@SWILHOPE or RHCC@SWILHOPE, any of those ones, they will get to all of us. So you don't have to worry about who you're tagging, but feel free, either way works. Taking a look at the exercise schedules going forward, one of the things that I'll put this up here out front, is that we definitely need, or we're going to ask from each of the hospitals, and we'd love to have the EMS folks. We'd love to have our EMAs. I know we don't get a ton of EMAs at this meeting specifically, but we definitely could reach out to Downey here and see if we can get some more feedback. But we're going to try to put together a full exercise schedule that everyone can take a look at. So the goal would be to take a look at your internals, or to take your internal MITEPs or IPPs, and if you're going to have these exercises around about these dates and times, and put them into a full spreadsheet so everyone can see what's going on across the region, or what's planned, so folks can kind of reach out and say, maybe we can kill two birds with one stone. If I see that Gateway is doing an exercise in this, can we partner with them to do our own internal things? Things that don't require regional input or a region-led, things that you're doing on your own, that maybe an EMS agency can see and go, oh, they're going to do this. Maybe we should get involved with that. And they have enough time to reach out. So we'll be looking at that. This is where we're at for our exercise schedules. Again, this may shift slightly when the NOFO comes out, but this is where we're at. Again, we did talk about our full scale being, we tried to do this last time, our full scale being a TIC-10 or KIMPAC exercise. And again, that can change, but this is what we have targeted right now, just as a reminder. Lee, could you talk to, let me just see, since we're getting close to the end, this last slide here, our NDMS, are these the next NDMS scheduled exercises?
So yeah, so this was a conversation that I had with Eric Perham over at the VA. He used to be here in our office. These are the exercises that he has on the docket for their upcoming cycle. So here in 24 in June, he's got to do a tabletop exercise for a patient evacuation. We had discussed the possibility of using his tabletop in conjunction with another regional exercise for us, maybe as a mass patient movement from, some kind of a disaster. The 25, his functional exercise, for those that aren't familiar with the different terms, tabletop, purely discussion-based. Functional has small moving pieces, not large muscle movements. And then when we get to the full scale, that's where you're really simulating everything to the highest degree. So the functional that they're going to do is just that. They're going to practice the different elements of their response plan individually. And then the full scale, they'll actually do like they did this last year, and they will actually bring patients, simulated patients as it were, into Downtown Parks Airport here in Cahokia. And then they'll be distributed to hospitals that are participating hospitals within the NDMS region. So we want to try to piggyback off of that as much as we can so that, one, we're good partners for them, they're good partners for us, but it also adds some complexity and realism to the exercises that we haven't previously had. So that's kind of where that's at right now. There'll be more to come as we get more kind of finalized.
Thanks, Lee. So yeah, those are, there'll be opportunities there for us to take advantage and partner coming up with the VA and everyone. So.
And Phil,
right.
If I might, just since Eric's not on the line to give his spiel, if your facility is interested in participating in the NDMS program and you're not currently registered, reach out to Eric directly, and he'll be able to assist you with that. It's I want to say eric.perham@va.gov.
Perfect. Thanks, Lee. Yeah, I already kind of told you the next steps before we got here. And again, we're going to be looking for your guys's, especially on the hospital side, but we're looking to incorporate EMS, the health departments, et cetera. We want to get what you guys are doing that is not necessarily region based, but so we can kind of have that as a full document. And then you guys can share it amongst yourselves and partner amongst yourselves. So be on the lookout for that. We'll probably give you a spreadsheet to kind of fill out. All right, we'll pause here because we're at the hour. Open floor, any questions, concerns from around the region? Oh, it's early in the year. I will make a plug for those who have fully executed grants now. Spend. My plan is for us to be broke by March. And when I say broke by March, that means everybody in my office and the funds that we have that we need to spend, we want to have 98 or 99% of that executed by March 30th. I'm asking each and every one of you guys to try to do the same if you can. It will only help us in the next year. going forward. And to Eric Brandmeier, who's on, I will say that we're going to be reaching out to you to go ahead and get the paperwork started for your subaward as well. So I got a line item transfer that we're going to be working this month. Just got to wait till folks finish closing the year. You know, all the accountants, that's what they've been rushing to do. So anything else from anyone around the region? Okay. Thank you guys. Happy New Year. Hopefully we don't get a bunch of snow next week. I know some of you guys are wishing for it, Lee specifically, but no snow next week. I got my fingers crossed. You guys take care, and we will see you next month on the 7th. Ciao.